Hey man, say man, it's the one and only Jamaican man with ism, brought to you by HoopSpaces, and we bring to you PDX Business. Hey man, say man, it's the one and only Jamaican man back at it again, my friend, with another PDX Business brought to you by HoopSpaces, and dare I say, Portland is becoming watchable basketball. Since we talked last, we showed the progression in the team and how we could be cohesive in order to make an impact this season. And that's starting, I would say, at the taping of this game. This is Dame's return to Portland, a spectacle nonetheless. Respect to him and all that he's done the last 12 years of his NBA career. And we thank you for all of those things that you have sacrificed in being an asset in order for us to have the roster that we have. The reason why today the episode is called Idols Become Rivals because obviously we want to give Dame our best shot. Dame knows that. Anthony Simons has to take the mantle of what Dame was in Portland. But also you have a few other storylines. Malcolm Brogdon was drafted by the Bucks, and for some reason he had some type of instinct to really go at the Bucks tonight. And usually we would go a game off with him and then he'll play, rest for his knee. He seemed very engaged tonight. And what I will also say, in the guy that he is training to be the starter eventually at the point, Scoot has also started to come around. He is completely through the rookie wall, making decisions at the top of the key to get downhill, as Chauncey has noticed, and he attacks on the left wing very comfortably at this time. Also, what has not changed is the fact that despite the coaching change from Milwaukee and Adrian Griffin being out as of last taping to Doc Rivers being the coach here, as you can see, Scoot made that drive from the wing. He is consistent with the decisions he wants to make. But consistently, the Bucks have not necessarily had the offense to sustain leads or win games, simply because they don't have enough shooting on the ball when Dame has to occupy other roles in the championship setting that Milwaukee needs him to be, because they're not the defensive team that they were in the past. But at the same time, you don't have enough auxiliary pieces that can move the ball in between Giannis and Dame to allow for things to work, not necessarily score, because as you can see, they have scores. Chris Middleton is still the guy that you want him to be. And ultimately, their rotations will show up to be a consistent out in the playoffs. But we are seeing, based on what we have been able to grow in our defensive forward philosophy, our rotation minutes, and Jeremy Grant being an actual asset when it comes to a lead option. I wouldn't call him a number one option, but I was noticing myself watching this game and saying, oh, you can't let Jeremy do that. And I'm like, wait, did I just say that? Because he's earned it. Whereas DeAndre Ayton in the past 5 games have been somewhat inconsistent, but since this taping, before we got to this game against the Bucks, he's kind of like proved himself worthy of being an asset as well. Tamari Kamaru is also an asset defensively, and Jabari Walker has been clearly one of the best forwards that we've had most consistently on this roster since we started this retool rebuild. Anthony Simons has been very consistent in the areas that we discussed in the last taping of being effective. What I did not like about Anthony is just his decision making, but he's addressing that a lot earlier than Dame the Great was able to, and as a result, you see a lot in this taping that Dame made some passes that just didn't make sense. He seemed uncomfortable. We did a very good job. Besides this particular play, this is one of few where we walled up Giannis and just made him a, I would say, mid-range scorer, or he just had to be way dominant getting into the paint. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but we kind of like, as you can see, we got 2 on to make him shoot, to take away the drive. So all of those inner working parts, as you can see, the turnover I was referring to, Dame it seems lackadaisical in making those decisions or uncomfortable versus him just outright going to get his bucket. Another wall up by our team and our forward core, Jabari with the steal. Great pass by Anthony to DA to get that finish. So our parts are starting to gel, and the price has gone up for the assets that we eventually want to trade. But Scoot is coming along to be able to really prove himself a rival to what Dame was, and Anthony scoring the same way in year 6 of his particular career. So it's a lot of storylines and rivals going on, if you will, and the Bucks can't get any better than they are. But we clearly are showing ourselves better than what we were even the last game. And if I want to talk about the game that has played at taping, the Denver Nuggets got a good win against us, but Scoot got 30 off the bench, the first Trailblazer to do that. And that is a testament to Chauncey's ability to coach, which I called out in the last taping against the Brooklyn Nets. But now it's probably the most obvious it's been this entire time. If the Bucks can't score in the secondary break, it's hard for them to score in the half court if Giannis doesn't have a clear line drive or if Dame's shot isn't going. We're not allowing them to do that by playing them in space, and there were a lot of times when Jeremy Grant specifically got the mouse in the house, and Dame, no disrespect, was that mouse, and he took advantage of it. And as I was saying, I was like, wait, did I just say that about Jeremy being a consistent guy? If you can see Tamari here, understanding what Jeremy has kind of like set the precedent that our forwards will attack from the short corner baseline. Jabari at the beginning of this taping got a great three-point shot, something that he's been working on and may need another year to be consistent in. But that short corner, corner three has been so efficient for our spacing, as well as Scoot making decisions in the middle of the key, slashing on the wing, and Ant doing this thing at the top of the key all over the wing, if you will. That was Jeremy Grant getting to that mid-range, which he commands for our offense, which is amazing to say that it's not just roles, it's not just a minutes thing. We know exactly what we're capable of with the roster that we have at this time. And we're about 55 games in before the All-Star break, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but as you can see, that's a bucket at the end of the fourth to kind of like keep us in the game. Now, Milwaukee has moments of playing defense, but as you can see, Giannis is the backline defender, and him being able to do that as well as everything else makes it difficult and puts a lot of pressure on the team itself to win with the lack there of auxiliary pieces. Now, this is what I'm talking about Ant just making bad passes in the clutch. They knew that they could get that ball away from him, but I feel like he will take this and grow in that. But him and Dame were specialists, and now they have to grow outside of that as a result of the trade. That was a key shot at the end of the game. They put Malik Beasley on Anthony to no avail, and he does what he's supposed to as far as we're concerned in PDX business. Now, there was a time where Giannis got put on the line to finish the game and bring the lead, and he wasn't able to do so, and we knew that as well. So with that turnover they got from us, we knew that this foul right here would put them in a position. As you can see, he missed the second of that key free throw, and we just put them out of position to score.